Good Tuesday morning to you. Thanks for joining us on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Michelle Beck. Happening right now near Mounds View, 35W is back open after a school bus crashed there earlier this morning. It happened near the County Road 10 exit and blocked traffic for about 45 minutes. We have reached out to State Patrol for more details on exactly what happened. Happening right now, U of M strikes on several campuses. This is a brand new photo from picketing workers in Morris. Workers there and in Crookston walked off the job at 10 o'clock last night. And this morning, workers also walking off the job in Duluth, Grand Rapids, Waseca, and Austin campuses. The next phase of picketing begins in the Twin Cities. Audrey Russo is on campus with what's at stake.
Yeah, this strike beginning at 7 o'clock tonight is the result of months of negotiating. Now, the Teamsters Union contract expired in June, and now right as students are getting in the swing of things on campus, they may notice slowdowns in things like dining hall services, trash pickup, and other types of campus maintenance. Now, 82% of the union voted no on the university's last contract offer, so now they're demanding a 3.5% wage increase, a number they say is comparable to what other campus unions have received. The union represents about 1,400 employees, and those we talked to say they can't remember the last time a strike took place, but they say they're willing to picket for as long as it takes.
There is never really a great time to do this, but we feel that we are given no other option by the administration.
Now, the university sent us a statement saying they have a plan in place in order to keep up some of those vital services for students. In fact, they actually have a kind of a reference list on their website of the different dining halls that could be impacted, campus mail, all sorts of things that students maybe should get themselves acquainted with as the next couple of weeks continue to roll on. Back to you.
And developing now at the state capitol this morning, the Minnesota House DFL has a new caucus leader. Just after 10:30 last night, House lawmakers elected Zach Stevenson. He replaces Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman, who was shot and killed in June. Stevenson was a volunteer on Hortman's early campaigns. One of the first things he'll do is lead the DFL through a special session, with the House still likely to be tied. Now, we're learning this morning Eden Prairie is adding more layers of safety to a crosswalk where a mother and her kids were injured in a hit and run. State Patrol says last month that mom and her 4 children were crossing Mitchell Road at Chestnut Drive when a car hit them and drove off. As of Monday morning, HCMC says the 2-year-old child is still in critical condition. In response, the city of Eden Prairie has added high retro-reflective sheeting material to the pedestrian signposts. They've also added a sign warning northbound drivers of the crosswalk ahead.
We're always caught by surprise when a tragic accident occurs, but in terms of this intersection rising to a level that we've been watching it never has. I mean, it's only the second accident in 6 years.
The city has decided to review all 388 marked crosswalks to see if any more improvements should be made. Developing now, the Minneapolis City Council is pursuing legal action against a property owner allowing homeless encampments. Hamoudi Sabri refuses to dismantle an encampment on his property, which is near a school and residential area. After a few more procedural moves, the city's attorney's office plans to file a complaint in state court as well as a motion for a temporary restraining order forcing him to remove the encampment. In a statement, he condemned the decision, calling it, quote, political theater at the expense of real solutions. For the first time, we're hearing from a Minnesota man who spent nearly 3 decades in prison for a murder he did not commit. Brian Hooper Sr. has been in prison for more than 27 years for the murder of Ann Prasniak in 1998. His conviction was overturned after new evidence came forward, including a confession to the murder from somebody else. He was released from prison last week. Hooper spoke yesterday, saying he's looking forward to writing a new chapter in his life.
It's a lot of anger, but I'm gonna use it, for something good instead of for something bad.
As prosecutors, it is our job, it is our duty to be ministers of justice and to right these past wrongs. And I'm hopeful that the reforms we have implemented will guard against wrongful convictions in the future.
As she went on, the Hennepin County attorney saying her office has more than a dozen other cases in active investigations to address wrongful convictions. To Washington now, where a House committee released an image of a suggestive birthday message, one that President Trump allegedly sent to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein in 2003. The note is part of a new piece of subpoenaed Epstein files. The president calls the message a fake and denies having anything to do with it. He's focused on crime and immigration with a new crackdown starting in Chicago. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest details from Washington.
Hi there. Beginning with that Trump-Epstein note. It's part of a book of letters and well wishes for Epstein's 50th birthday more than 2 decades ago. The pair was known to socialize before a falling out, though the president is fiercely denying the note is his. Divided attention in Washington this morning as President Trump keeps his sights on crime and immigration. A first look at a birthday message he allegedly wrote in 2003 to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein is grabbing headlines. It's a drawing of a woman's torso around an imagined conversation that reads in part, quote, "We have certain things in common, Jeffrey." The White House arguing it's a fake and not the president's signature, echoed by Republican lawmakers.
To me, it's just bogus. The whole thing is bogus right now.
President Trump has denied having anything to do with the letter first reported by the Wall Street Journal in July, prompting him to file a $10 billion defamation lawsuit. The House Oversight Committee released it Monday as part of a trove of subpoenaed Epstein documents.
The president now is walking into his own lie and cover-up.
The president focused instead on his immigration crackdown, with the Department of Homeland Security confirming it's launched a new ICE operation in Chicago, branded Operation Midway Blitz. No sign yet of a threatened National Guard deployment to crack down on crime.
We'd love to go into Chicago and straighten it out.
City and state leaders calling it all unnecessary, though a new Supreme Court ruling may limit their ability to push back. The High Court's conservative majority lifted restrictions on ICE operations in Los Angeles, putting a hold on a lower court ruling that blocked patrols and raids based on broad criteria like speaking Spanish. The White House rejecting critics' allegations of racial profiling, insisting ICE detentions are based on a multitude of factors. Also on immigration, top officials from South Korea heading to the U.S. after hundreds of South Korean nationals were arrested Friday at a Hyundai plant in Georgia. The officials planning to charter a plane to bring the workers home as soon as tomorrow. In Washington, I'm Alice Barr. Back to you.
Right now, firefighters have cleared the scene and reopened the streets in northeast Minneapolis after a devastating fire Sunday morning. New drone video shows us a closer look at the damage. Minneapolis fire officials say flames at an abandoned warehouse early Sunday spread to 3 other abandoned commercial buildings. They include the Aaron Carlson building, which is on the National Register of Historic Places. The building housed the woodworking factory for the business, which dates back to the 1800s, according to its website. People in the area are shocked to see it gone.
The only parts that I'm really noticing that are left is the brick, a little bit of wood panels over here, and if you look over there in that shaft right there, there's some elevator doors.
The building became a popular spot for urban explorers. The neighborhood was hoping it would get a new life. Well, if you gave up on the Vikings in the third quarter of Monday Night Football, you are waking up to quite a surprise this morning. They mounted a historic comeback against the Chicago Bears for the win. Sports director Reggie Wilson has the highlights.
A stunning Vikings victory coming into Chicago and stealing one from the Bears, especially when you consider the Vikings offense looked stuck in the mud for most of the night, and then things seemed to really reach dire straits in the third. Bears leading 10-6, Vikings trying to get something going on offense, and J.J. McCarthy is picked off by former Viking Nahshon Wright, and he takes it back 74 yards to the house to break this game open. Then the fourth quarter started, and it was a completely different script. McCarthy hooks up with Justin Jefferson for 6. First gritty of 2025, Vikings down 5. After the defense gets a stop, McCarthy back on the attack, throws a beauty of a pass to Aaron Jones for the 27-yard touchdown. Vikings have their first lead of the night. McCarthy's not done. How about a read option? 14 yards on the ground for the score. Have a night. McCarthy went 6 for 8. 101 yards, 3 total touchdowns in the fourth quarter alone. Vikings get the opening season dub, 27-24. Justin Jefferson said McCarthy's performance did not shock him. He just needed to show the world what he could do. And McCarthy will get a chance to do it again next week in primetime at the Bank on Sunday Night Football against the Falcons right here on KARE 11. In Chicago, Reggie Wilson, KARE 11 Sports.
A reaction to the win pouring in overnight, including from J.J. McCarthy himself. The NFL also writing on their official X account that the J.J. McCarthy era is off to a winning start. We saw the comments from the Vikings, the word bet at this post from McCarthy's alma mater. It says he's the first player in league history to account for 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter of an NFL debut. Now, by that point, the Vikes really needed those touchdowns because Chicago was leading 17-6. The QB recalls telling his team in the third quarter, "Where else would you rather be?"
There was a lot of smiles after I said that, and just a little bit of a perspective shift. Yeah, things weren't going our way, but we're here doing this together, and the boys, they responded perfectly.
The best thing is just the belief I felt from the team, the unit, and ultimately that doesn't get done without him in the second half. 2 passing touchdowns and then the critical rushing touchdown, at the end.
Now, as Reggie mentioned, the Vikings will come home to take on the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday Night Football. You can watch that game right here on KARE 11. Our sports team will be live at US Bank Stadium Sunday with exclusive interviews and updates. But do stick with us for now. More news and weather are coming up after the break.